This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
Welcome back to the Third Horizon and Mercy of the Icons. We recorded the first parts of this series, Last Voyage of the Ghazali and Emissary Lost, back in 2018 and 2019. And this year, 2024, we finally decided to pick up the story where we left off, with Pig and Carlo approaching the Red Moon after Farouk's heroic sacrifice and the death of the messenger emissary. If you already listened to Emissary Lost back in the day, we've put out a companion episode to this that recaps what happened in the campaign thus far, as well as giving you a reintroduction to the world of Coriolis. We hope that you will enjoy our return to the Third Horizon as much as we have. And with that said, here is the Last Cyclade.
It is dark, and you can see the stars in the sky above you, as well as the lights of the Coriolis station glimmering somewhere far up there. The loading dock to the Red Moon has been opened, and a familiar voice greets you.
Ah, Saib. It's good to see you again.
Can you introduce us to who you are? And we can start with Pig. Who are you, and how are you feeling at this moment?
I am a short, biosculpted mechanic. Biosculpted in the way that I've got 4 arms that I happily use when I'm able to pick something apart and put it back together again. That's what I do. I love understanding how things work. I love getting closer to my equipment. I love upgrading things. I love everything that just makes sense. Something that I can't stand is those things that don't. And those things I have to understand how they work. I believe in the icons. I believe in them strongly. I'm more faithful than anyone in our crew is, but there's still some things that I don't understand. And maybe those are the things that I like to worship. As I'm standing here now, I'm dressed in my... well, not in my usual gear, because we had to change everything after that insane operation in the jungle. We came back all muddy and then got into a fire once we reached the next corner of civilization. Now I'm standing here again with an overall muddy from the marsh with cinders and soot all over it, with my accelerator rifle slung over my shoulder, a head shorter than the person standing next to me. I am so tired and so confused. What the hell did we just witness? Was that the actual dark between the stars come out as a spirit? Everyone talks about spirits. Everyone's heard about spirits in their childhood, in stories. But it seemed to come out of the emissary, and then Farouk sang to it, and now it's all gone. They're both gone. I have no idea where Farouk is. He can't be gone. We gotta find him somehow. And it's been a long time since I saw that ship, our ship, the Red Moon, and since I heard that voice of Suleiman, our onboard ship AI that somehow transferred himself, or itself, I don't know, onto the Red Moon after our narrow escape off of the Ghazali. He's a strange one, but he's done us good so far, especially now since he's actually coming down to pick us up. I relax a little bit, take a deep breath out, and just start walking towards the loading ramp.
You do. And what of you, Carlo? Who are you, and how are you feeling at this moment?
I'm Carlo Salah. At least that's my name for the moment. Not sure how long that will last, as it's not truly my name. I'm this crew's pilot, although I wouldn't say that was my true profession. I have a way with computers, a way with data gins. I have a way with guns. I have a way of getting around places. You could say I'm a man of many talents. I'm currently very bedraggled. My normally neatly groomed beard is rather disheveled right now, my long black hair, messy and unkempt, covered in grime and blood. After all, I'm pretty sure I've been hurt, although I can't really tell where. Everything right now is a bit of a blur, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't really want to think about what's just happened. This operation on Kua, everything that went on Coriolis, everything that went on aboard the Ghazali so long ago. All I care about is making sure my sister gets on board the ship and the pig puts them in the medical bay. That's what this all was about. This whole long journey was about getting back my sister. That's all that's ever mattered to me, and everything else can wait. So it will. So I check my weapons. I make sure that my sister's being brought on board the ship with Pig. I don't even know how the Red Moon got here. I don't remember calling it. I don't remember a lot over the last few hours. Everything that happened in this strange ruin is... Well, I don't have any explanations, other than that the emissary is dead. So much for that big rescue mission. Oh, and I'm pretty sure the Judicator betrayed us, somehow. The Order Pariah, they were involved, somehow. None of it really matters. I'm going to get on board the ship, and then we're going to make sure my sister's okay, and then we'll think about everything else later. Farouk, the captain, well, they're gone. So I suppose this is going to be the last journey of the Red Moon, at least as far as I'm concerned, but let's focus on that later. I'm tired, I have a splitting headache, and I want to get off Kua, at least for the moment.
Speaking of the Judicator, there's a radio message that comes in on your communicator. From Judicator Kosha, of all people.
I make sure to get on board first and start the procedure to close the door because I want this ship in the air, but then I look to Pig, lean against the wall, drying some blood off my coat, which has been highly damaged, even though it is made of some tough leathers. And again, I'm still wearing some of this bizarre costume we were wearing for something else earlier. Again, it's all a blur, but then I kind of just nod and I activate my comm at least.
I usher my little apprentice on board. This little boy that we picked up at the space station before it blew up. And I tell him, look here, you're just about to experience the most awesome ship in the whole third horizon. It ain't got no butterfly wings, but... And then I see the call incoming. What the hell? I look up at Carlo. She's calling us.
Right. Well, I'll take it. Look, can you get my sister to the med bay, immediately, please?
Yeah. Come on, help out here. I tell the little boy, and I... How well conscious is she? Is she conscious at all, or...
She is still unconscious, but she is stable, although you have a feeling that you really should look at her more closely in the med bay. It seemed quite serious.
Yeah, well, I'm quite strong as it happens, so between me and the kid, we're gonna be able to get her over there. You find out what Kosha wants. I'll do this. Don't come in and disturb me, okay? I'm gonna need to concentrate.
Sure, yes, just do everything. Literally everything. Do it. Please.
I grunt and, leave. Carrying his sister.
I pace a little. I can't believe I've got this close, and she could die right now. I can't... No, okay, let's focus. I start making my way to the piloting part of the vessel, but as I'm doing so, I say... Judicator, fancy hearing from you. I thought you'd be busy in whatever the void you're currently flying in.
Oh, I'm not in any void. But let me first congratulate you on a job well done. Well done indeed. You have stopped the order. You've saved many lives. I took the liberty of instructing Appion to bring your ship down to you. I still have some unfinished business in the marsh, and as she says that, you can hear explosions over the comm and somewhere from outside. Yes, from the martyr base. You can hear it all the way here. accelerator pistol fire as well. Don't worry about the other survivors. Emergency response is on the way from the monolith already.
Wait a second. Are you telling me you're still... Didn't you... I thought you took off in There was this big butterfly-like vessel that took off conveniently just after you suddenly vanished.
Butterfly ship?
That wasn't you. Where the hell did you vanish to?
I was busy with the order. Butterfly ship, you say? Huh.
Yeah.
You hear another explosion, and there's faint screams coming from both the radio and over in the base. I have a feeling, Carlo, that the icons aren't quite done with us yet. Until our paths cross again, I suppose.
Wait. No, hang on. You just said mission successful. I mean, I can assure you it wasn't successful. The emissary is dead. Wasn't that the whole point? To save them? No? I get that you're blowing up Pariah, but are you happy with that? Are we done?
We know what happened at the very least. You can't save everyone, Carlo. You'll come to learn that someday. And the call cuts out, and you see peeking from the cockpit the blonde and athletic Appion, who's still wearing his tormented cherub mask. He gives you an elaborate bow as he sees you. Ah, Mr. Salah.
I blink and stumble back a little, not having expected to literally see this guy again so soon. I don't go for my gun, but... well, I'm slightly confused if I'm honest. I thought she'd betrayed us. I thought she was the one who... well, I didn't know what to think, and now apparently no, she just decided to go off and they're all just killing people down there for... oh, I don't really care at all. They're cat it all.
There's another explosion.
Appion, you're the one who came down to get us.
He laughs a little bit and again does another curtsy. I knew you could do it. I can tell when people are capable and when they aren't. And you, Carlo, I could tell from the beginning that you are very much capable.
Well, yes, I am. Well, what in the void do you want now? I suppose, okay, according to your boss, that's a mission complete. I, for one, call it a complete disaster. But good, fine. Are we done? Do you want me to drop you off at Coriolis or what?
Oh, no, I'm going to go join the adjudicator. I see that you found your sister as well. Well, that's good. She didn't look very good, though, on the video screen.
No, she's in the med bay. She's going to be fine. I say this as I'm already slumping into the pilot seat. And now, I suppose, our business is done. That was the whole thing, wasn't it? We were hired to find an emissary. We found them. And... void if I know what else is going on.
Yes, you did. You were very successful. And for now, I think we can consider our business concluded. The Red Moon is yours. There's no criminal indictments or suspicions against you. You're free. So enjoy your freedom. And let's see when we meet again.
Well, that's good. That's what I wanted. And I guess now I pause for a moment and I look behind me at a seat where Captain Farouk would normally sit. I suppose... well... I don't know. We haven't got a captain.
Oh. They're not joining you?
No. They didn't make it.
Oh, that's a pity. I quite liked Farouk. He had a very elegant jawline. Well, he says, and he begins moving away. I had better go to my mistress. And he begins traipsing off and leaving the ship.
As he leaves, I begin loading up the computers. I want to get the ship in the air. And I think to myself, I hope I never see any of them again. If they really are done with us, that's good. We're gonna get back in space. Pig's gonna fix up Aisha. And then I don't even know. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. It occurs to me I don't even know if well, obviously, a large bulk of my true family are very much alive. The Zione family is very large. But last time I saw my own parents, and even some of my siblings, they were in an explosion. I'll think of that later. Right now, I just need to get in space, make sure Aisha's okay, and I suppose, well, maybe this journey on the Red Moon's coming to an end now that Farouk's gone. Let's see.
We move to Pig. You are in the med bay and you have gotten Aisha up on the bed in the med bay, and it's clear that yes, the work that you did, it's good. You have stabilized her, but it's clear that she needs proper surgery. The injuries were grave. There's damage to the organs and possibly even the spine. This med bay is good, but it's not good enough. What do you do?
Man. I wish we had a trauma lab. This is a lot. I look up at the kid. Alright. You better watch everything now. Watch closely. I know you've been through some weird stuff. I have too, okay? I'm gonna need you to learn on the job. I might ask you to carry a few things for me. Okay. I'm gonna do as much as I can.
The kid nods to you and does, of course, look quite shocked still from everything that he has seen. He might have gotten a peek of that. Might have gotten a peek on that darkness that manifested, and now here's this woman who's partially covered in blood, and yes, it's been a bad scene. A lot of things that this boy has had to experience over the last, well, hours and days. But he seems to be holding up somehow, though. So yes, he nods to you and looks for something to do.
You gotta be strong in this business. I learned that early too. But you're safe, okay? We're safe now. We're gonna take off. We're in a great ship. And I start looking around. Alright, got all my tools. I'm gonna do everything I can here to stabilize her. Sew her up as good as possible. See what shrapnels I can remove from those. I mean, I took most of the shrapnels out, but there was still some that were like, okay, if I move this, yeah, this is slight risk of nicking an artery, and then that's not what we're doing today. So now that I have some access to some better equipment, I'm gonna see if I can do something about that, and just how far I can take her. But, that spine ain't gonna grow back by itself. It's gonna need a lot of support. Oh, wow.
You might need to ask Carlo to get you to a proper hospital, to get her to a proper hospital. You are a good medic, but this is going to need spider doctors, more experienced medicurgs than you are.
Yeah. I just go on the comms as soon as I notice that they're open again and that they finished their call. Hey, Carlo.
Yeah, what is it? You said not to bother you. I'm getting ready to launch us in the air.
That's right. Don't fucking bother me. That's what I'm gonna say. But also, I'm not a surgeon, all right? Some of this stuff, she's gonna be fine, but we're gonna probably need to take her to a hospital just so that she doesn't, turn out to be some kind of. Yeah, well, let me just say, less lingering effects, the better, probably.
You can't just. How bad is it?
Oh, yeah, don't worry, Carlo. She's gonna be all right. But if you leave it just to me, she might be not walking properly for the rest of her life. Nothing more than that.
That's still not good, Pig. You said you were the best. I
never told you I was the best. Not in the medic business. No. I'm the best between you and me, sure.
All right.
In many ways.
All right. It's gonna take ages to get back into Coriolis, and we'll have to bloody pass by all the checks.
That's all right. We'll make it until then.
It's going to take a very long time to get to Coriolis. You'd have to get up in space, get to the station, dock, everything. But, there is another place you can go. The monolith isn't all that far away. You don't even have to leave Atmo. You just head back home to the monolith, to Sky City, the Esplanade of Thousands. The Zenona name is going to open all the doors to the finest medical care the horizon can buy. You know that.
I fiddle with the controls for a moment before just responding to Pig. Yes, It's all sorted, Pig. You look after my sister. I'm launching now. Thank you. And don't worry. All good. We're done. It turns out Judicator Kosha was not... Apparently she did just go off to kill some more pariahs. She wasn't the one flying off in that ship. She didn't... Well, I don't think she betrayed us. Not now. No, Appian was just here. We're all clear. Job complete. They're happy. They don't seem to care that the emissary's dead. They're just happy.
Wait, what? You're joking?
No.
This is too much, man. You would say she just walked off, and then that thing took off like nothing. Like, how am I supposed to believe that she's still out there?
Appian, literally, he's the one who flew the ship down. He's probably leaving from the dock right now. I don't know what to tell you. They say they're happy, and for one, I don't care. If they're happy, they're fucking happy.
But them dead?
I suppose, Pig. All I know is, well, look out the window, you can hear it. They're burning that pariah to the roots, which is good. Good for them. I would be doing the same if we had the manpower.
Still doesn't explain where that ship came from or who it belonged to. You know what I think? I think whoever was on that ship came down specifically to take out the emissary. And who would want that more than the Order of the Pariah? They're the ones been saying from the start that these are just some... I don't get it. Not sure what they were gonna do. Maybe they were gonna do some ritual sacrifice.
Well, the good news, Pig, is I don't get it either. And we don't need to. We're no longer being paid. We're gonna... You see to my sister. I'll get us to the hospital, and then when we have a moment, we can... We can discuss, what happens next, I suppose.
Yep, you got it. Okay. It's all spinning in my head. I'm still suffering from every trauma from the attack of that monstrosity. The shadow, whatever that was, Yeah. I'm trying to clear my mind and focus and start working slowly, methodically now, to make sure I do as good a job as I can. There's something about her makes me think of Farouk in some ways. I look at her face, her hair all washed with dried blood. She looks so peaceful. She looks so peaceful. I'm gonna save you, okay? I'm gonna keep you safe. I heard you. I heard you in there. I know you were in there. Yeah, I know you were in there too. I look at the boy. Hey, I'm not getting emotional or nothing, but this is not just Carlo's sister.
He moves up to you and pats you on the back, just like as if he was saying, "It's okay, it's okay."
Yeah. It is. And then I get to work.
You do. What is it that you see inside the mystic, inside Carlo's sister?
It's so strong. The thing that I hear from everything. The thing that permeates everything that needs to be taken apart. 'Cause it's got something inside of it that's wrong. It's the song. It's the song my mom used to sing for us. Now I hear it in the shape of my sister's voice. And it comes from inside of her. From like every place of her that's wrong. Every bit of shrapnel that needs to be lodged out. Every tissue that needs to be sewn up. every little wound, every little scratch, there's a soft singing. From times when I was so young. It's my sister. She's here. I could almost hear her with Farouk too, but I didn't know why, but now I know. It's something about their powers, something about their connection, these mystics. They never used to be around before the posers showed up, the fake emissaries. That's what set all this off, and yet it's so connected somehow to my own sister. I stroke her hair gently. Yeah. I know you were around there. I know you're around there, Alaya. And I'm gonna help you be right too. I'm gonna be siblings again. Okay? I can't go back to who I was because we all change. But you stay the same. You stay the same, so pure. Part of me just reaches for my torso, the side. Once upon a time, you helped me out too. And I see her face there. I see her face. Just standing there next to us. I see my sister beaming at me. A vision I never seen before. And yet still, it feels natural. It feels peaceful. It feels like I'm coming home again. And I need to do this for her.
You do, and you do it for her. Carlo, your ship's djinn, Suleiman speaks, as you're speeding off towards the monolith.
Sahib, I suggest decreasing the airspeed of the Red Moon. I read turbulence ahead.
Suleiman, understood. I am slowing down, and... Suleiman, has your algorithm got corrupted again? I can barely understand you. Hang on, and I begin fiddling with some controls. There's a bit of static on the line, and I want the AI to be working. It's been a while since I've actually been at the console of my own ship, or, well, Farouk's ship. Al-Wahim's ship. Who even knows anymore?
It is your ship now. The Infoteca says so. Blast levels adjusted, Sahib. Increase altitude by 430 meters to optimize flight path to the monolith.
And I do as it says. I'm in too much of a hurry. I'm weighing up the options in my mind. I don't have a choice. We haven't got time to get to Coriolis. We need to go home. Granted, I have no idea what the situation will be at home, especially after what happened earlier today, but I have my access codes, I have my actual credentials. I suppose it's finally time for this little journey to come to an end. On paper, it was most fun. The Adventures of Carlo Salah. It was a good alias, at least I thought so. But it was never going to last. After all, that's not really my name. I have several other identities, of course, but my real one is Izam. Izam Zione. Third son of, well, a branch family in the Zione family. There are, after all, a lot of us in the great ruling dynasties of Kua, the ruling dynasties of the Monolith, the ruling dynasties of the Zenithian hegemony. I'll explain it all to Pig later. They don't need to know right now. They'll get a little suspicious, but hopefully if they're doing their job, they'll just focus on it. We need to get back to a proper hospital. Aisha needs to be safe. Granted, she won't be safe for long. They'll have to know that she's a mystic. I have no idea what that will mean. Aisha was always just wanted to do her own thing, and she was allowed to, with plenty of brothers and sisters to do all the important things. Aisha just was Aisha. No longer. She'll be used somehow. I don't know how, but she'll be used somehow. So for now, I'm going to chart the course, send my credentials. And, well, maybe it'll all go swimmingly after all. If my parents are in danger, maybe they won't be too distracted by that. And Aisha's conditioned to quickly ask where I've actually been for the last couple of cycles.
Yes. And you are flying over the sprawling conglomerate, this seemingly endless habitation around the monolith, the factory islands, the slums. And there it is, it towers ahead of you, 4,000 meters high, with the top lost in the clouds above. You're getting a call from traffic control because you are not heading for the normal port, you are heading towards the top, towards Sky City. Ship designation Red Moon on approach to Sky City. Please state your destination and business.
This is... And I pause. Izam Zione, sending credentials, sending identity. I'm all cleared. I should be cleared to dock near the estates.
You send your clearance code, then, I gather, yes?
I do. My real one, which is my most fancy identity. Clearance code, of course. A few more commands come into the command console, and I quickly enter our destination that we specifically need urgent medical aid and need to go to the hospital district.
Code received. Hangar 2 standing by. Medical transport has been requested. Welcome home, Izam Zenoni. As it once was, so shall it be again.
As it once was, so shall it be again.
Yes, the creed of the hegemony. You're supposed to lead the Zenithians, and the Zenithians should lead the Horizon. How do you feel about that?
Well, I never really cared. It's not like that's what I was going to be doing. It's my oldest brother, Aram, who is the scion of our branch. And then my second brother, Carol, he's the big fleet commander. Aisha is Aisha. Alina is a research analyst of some sort. I can never remember what exactly. And then there was me, the house security boy. That's how my father put it. That's why I was flunked out of the Fleet Academy. That was my cover. I was supposed to be a wastrel of a boy, but secretly actually analysing things in the dark and finding out things for the family. That's what I'm supposed to have been doing the last couple of years, and I have been sending reports, so that's exactly what I've been doing, but of course, that's not what I've been doing at all. I've been trying to be free, trying to enjoy my life. And it was going very well, until a mission on a ship with Gonzales almost ended my life, and then there was that time I almost got arrested. Did get arrested, in fact, then after that. And then, of course, all this nonsense with the emissary. All that was under the command of Captain Farouk. Truly a fine man, if I'm honest. Naive, stupid at times, but they got stuff done. They're gone now, though. And then there's Pig. They're fine. A bit naive, but capable. They won't be happy with any of this, but, well, I'm sure if I could just give them an awful lot of money, there should be more than enough burr. I can raid from the family account. Not that I have that much access, of course. I take a moment to look out the window at the majesty of the monolith.
Yes, and as you do, you see a wing of fighters that zooms by closely. You see the markings of the Nighthawks, Zalakad flotilla. There's a lot of Zenithian power out there. A lot of it. Both the monolith. You didn't build that, but you've made it into what it is now. And yes, this military might. Not by any means the greatest military might in the Horizon, but, well, one of the greatest.
It's an impressive sight. Can't say I've missed it. Then again, after spending an awfully long time in jungles, the underbelly of Coriolis Station, and again, that prison mine, maybe it wasn't so bad after all.
Do you say anything to Peg about where you're headed? You will be landing in the hangar shortly.
I'll wait until I speak to them face to face. They don't need to know anything just yet.
I'm working away in the med lab. There's plenty of work needing to be done. I can't find all the broken tissue. I mapped the shrapnel that I can't get out, and I stabilize any joints that are out of shape, any bones, but I can't find it. Where does it come from? What makes us so special? What made Farouk special? I have to find it. I'm trying to figure this out. I talk continuously to what has to be my sister, because I see her. She's right there. She's standing next to me as I go along, and I talk to the boy too. I realize I'm crying from time to time, and I have to wipe away my tears with sterilized blankets. What the hell is going on with me? And I notice that the ship is slowing down, and I go on the intercom. I say, yeah, almost there. I mean, kind of good here.
Well, that's good. Good work, Pig. Thank you. All... We're about to land any second now. We're not on Coriolis, though, but it's all good. All good.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm just gonna finish up. And I do, like, the last couple of scans and whatever I can do. Do I find any signs of where this is coming from? Where does the mystic powers come from?
You look hard, you look long, you try to find it, and you get close, and each time you get closer, you feel like it just drifts off further away. It's there, you can almost grasp it, almost, and then it's gone again.
Kimada, come on! And maybe it's some kind of radiation that I can't read.
It could be. Maybe if you got more advanced equipment for the Red Moon, you might be able to scan further, yes? Perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get the money from. We're gonna have to talk to the adjudicator about some upgrades. If she's actually on our side. If they're gonna want our help again. Hell, we need payment for what we just did. We've been through hell. As we take down and everything stops, I get my surgeon's outfit off bit by bit, snap off my gloves. Alright, little man. We get this off and see where that bastard is taking us.
He nods, and he looks at you with eyes that are asking, "Are you okay? Like, really, are you okay? You were crying." That's the feeling that you get.
Yeah, of course I'm okay. I'm always okay. I'm really good. Are you okay?
He nods and smiles.
Okay. Well, that's good. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you my grav bike. You wanna see my grav bike?
He nods happily. And yes, it seems like you've sat down now. You can see out one of the windows that you're in some kind of hangar. You see flashing lights and, there's a medical transport standing by out there. There's a group of soldiers wearing strict Zenithian dress uniforms as well. Huh.
Oh no. I go out, just start walking up towards the cockpit. Carlos, where did you take us, you asshole?
I've run some of my contacts through. We didn't have time to get to Coriolis. You said it yourself. We didn't have time, so it's all good. They are going to be taking my sister. She is going to be getting, as you said, the best care. So that's where we are.
Okay.
On the monolith.
The monolith? And who's gonna pay for that?
My family will. Remember? I have a family. I did say that.
Did you? I'm pretty sure you said that Farouk and I was your family.
I actually laugh a little at that. Right. I'm sure I did at one point. Anyway, this is where my family live. They're not actually in the Free League. Funny that. I lied about that.
I just sit down in the co-pilot seat. Okay. I mean, more Zenithian bastards, the merrier, right?
exactly your favorite people, Pig, and they're going to take good care of us. They'll take good care of you too. I'm sure we'll get you some money for your expenses, and yes. And at that point, I kind of wince and feel my ribs, remembering that I actually think I'm still hurt, but I haven't really had time to think about it.
Yes. Yes, you are. The soldiers, the guards, they're wearing their dress uniforms with your house colors, and they're approaching the ship. They don't have as fancy uniforms as the Janissaries of House Kossar, but the ones who are known as the Peacock Troops. But it's not all that far off. It's the strictness. It's very elegant. You've really worked hard on that, the Zenonas have.
We certainly have. Again, it's supposed to be a route could have taken. Maybe I'll have to take it now. I suppose we'll find out. I look to Pig as I get ready to open the docking area and say, yes. I'll be honest with you, Pig. The less you know, the better. It helps you be safe. But at this stage, if you really need to know, I'll answer.
You almost got me there, you know? I'm like, just seriously. I was like, this is where he tells me that he's some secret sultan's son or something? You got flying carpets too, Carlo?
No flying carpets, and no sultan. But, yes, I am a Zeroni. Are you familiar with them? We're not quite the Kassar, but we have some sway.
You're definitely familiar with that name. That's a very important Zenithian bastard name.
I stand there and my mouth is just working. Yeah. And I'm and I can't even think of anything witty at this point because he looks so serious. It looks like he actually means this. I'm in Ikatra. How's that? And I just go off because I can't even process anything right now. I'm gonna go find my spider bots and play with them.
Just as you do that, the soldiers have come up, and you see them looking at Carlo, and they look at you and then at Carlo and say, Master Zenone, we've been instructed to bring you to your brother. He needs to speak to you.
Which one?
Corel.
Corel is here. Very well then. Thank you. Good to see you. Hello. Again, my sister, are you getting to her? She needs to be seen immediately.
And you see a medical staff rushing into the ship and moving to take her with them. And Pig, you see all this happening. You see how they're seemingly very much treating Carlo as though he was a Zenone. So what he said seems to be true.
My whole world has been just turned upside down. Oh. I look down at the boy. And I shrug.
He shrugs with you.
Okay. Well, you have fun with your real family, I say, and I just slump down in the co-pilot's chair again.
I don't want to be long, Pig, and don't worry, after we'll settle things. Maybe you can have the ship and do what you want with it, I guess. I'm sure Farouk would want that, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I need to...
Yes, Master Zanoni, we had better hurry.
As they go off, I just mumble to myself, Farouk would have wanted you to stay. That's what he wanted. And just pout for a bit. And I show for the kid to sit in the pilot's seat.
And I follow after the guards. As I do so, my posture changes ever so slightly. I don't like to walk like this. Walking like this down an alleyway on Coriolis will get you mugged, but here, you have to walk a certain way. I am a proud Zenithian after all.
Yes, and you have been drilled in military discipline since you were a child, and you know exactly what you're supposed to do here in order to represent
your name and your family in the correct way. And you move off with the soldiers, and the medical transport with your sister moves on ahead. And Pig, you and the boy, you're given these lanyards with ID cards on them that grant you access into the Esplanade of Thousands, into the big parks out there. You've heard of the parks. They're supposed to be the finest in all of the horizon, really.
Listen, I heard about the parks. Are grav bikes allowed down there?
They look at you as though, are you serious? And then they say, I'm afraid no, grab bikes are not allowed.
I thought that could be fun. Right, okay, listen. First thing we're gonna do is get you cleaned up. You gotta be clean, you gotta look as good as you can. Maybe even get back in that not in that fancy dress gear. But anyway, then we can go out and look around this place. Do you want to look around at this place?
The boy nods. Happily.
Okay. Well, I don't. Not really. It's gonna be full of Carlos. That's his name. Wow. Okay. And then we do that. We see to get as cleaned up as possible. I even let him use a little bit of my moisturizer. It's important to keep your hands soft and good, especially if you're going to operate delicate machinery. All that oil is going to make your skin dry. And then, once we got all that sorted, well, we might just have a look around into these fine areas that we've been so kindly granted access to.
Yes, and you do that. You're walking through the lush parks in the Esplanade of Thousands. There's palaces, there's trees from all of the horizon, rare ones, orchids. The air is so fresh and clean here. It's all been, of course, filtered and cleaned up using very expensive machinery. Everything's peaceful and serene, which is slightly unreal because you know that just some ways down in the conglomerates, it's dirty, it's loud, and it's dangerous. But here it's completely different. It's almost like walking around in a museum. There's statues erected in the parks to the ship families. Enoch Kassar, one of them says, 5th captain of the Zenith.
Look at that guy, I say. That's what you get if you're born by the right person. I bet you were born by a magnificent person. Sorry they ain't around. Mine ain't either. But you know what? We're gonna stick together. And we're gonna get some of those nice flowers over there into our arboretum. And I make notes of these orchids and things. I think these are gonna be nice. Better than my onions.
There are more statues here, and the number just keeps going up and up. And you're seeing numbers like 28th captain of the Zenith. 28?
Yeah.
So what happened to 27 and 26? They never got to where they were going. They lived their entire life. They were born. They lived. They had children of their own. And then they died. Aboard a ship. Without getting to where it was supposed to go. Carrying people who were asleep. Who would be able to get to where they were supposed to go. But not them, no. They never would get to see that. This man never saw that. But he got a statue in a nice park, though.
Think of that. I mean, look at this place. Look at how fancy this is. I bet that whole Zenith ship was just like this, you know. All fancy, high technology kind of stuff. And there they were, just spending their entire life on that. So boring. No place to ride a grab bike, get dirty, and then hate being dirty and get cleaned up again. None of that. None of that, my boy. You know what? I think I need to give you a name. Would you like a name?
He nods.
Maybe you have one already. How about I call you Murat? You like Murat?
He seems to be contemplating that. And then he nods.
All right, I'll call you Murat for now. And we keep on walking throughout the place, trying to get something to eat.
You find the boy crouched down at one point. He's looking at a small bush and is pointing to something.
Oh, what's that? What you got there?
It's a beautiful ladybug. It's climbing around on the leaves.
Oh, look at that. Little insect. Seems very happy in here. Imagine just going about your business. I didn't think they'd have insects in here. I just draw a deep breath of the air. Wow, it's so fresh.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too. Yeah. You want to keep that? We can put it in a little jar and take it to the arboretum.
He reaches out his hand to try to take it, and then it flaps its wings and flies off. And he looks at you a little bit puzzled and a little bit sad.
Hey, that's all right. You know what I got? I haven't had them out in a bit, but I'm making spider bots. We can make one to look just like a ladybug. That's the ladybug right there. You want that? We can paint it just like that.
He smiles at you. He was on Coriolis, you know that much. It seemed like this insect that it was special. You grew up in the forests on Uharu, but perhaps he's one of those that has lived his entire short life on a space station or on a ship. Seeing something like this that would be quite special, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I guess he hasn't been that close to nature, except for the jungle business that we just been through and all that. Yeah. Fun little things, aren't they? Insects, things like this, that won't actually try and eat you.
And he laughs a little and smiles at you.
All right.
What were you doing when you were his age? When you were growing up on Uharu?
A big part of my life was growing up with a rebellion around me. Opposers of the rebellion. Oh well, my family was on the rebellion side. But I do remember some fond moments. I remember one time I was sitting down and I was probably about his age. I just learned to work embroidery. I was putting together, well, we didn't have too many colors, but my mom had shown me how to dye different cloths and threads into different ones. So now I had managed to get yellow and green, and I was doing embroidery of a little flower. I really liked doing that. Like, not everything had to be mechanical in order for me to want to pick it apart and put it together. That came later. And the Leia was there, running around me, running laps around me, complaining about me always wanting to sit down and fidget with stuff instead of playing tag with her. I'm laughing, throwing a bit of yarn at her, saying that there's no fun running with you. Your bio-sculpted legs, she was made to run. She was made to jump. Not like my arms. I'm not sculpted for agile work. I can make a lot of things happen. I remember my parents told me that it was my uncle who made us. Made us. Well, made sure we turned out like we did. Supposed to be a really talented biosculptor, as they call it back then. Used to work with the official government before everything went sour. Now he's just grumpy and mean. That's all I remember of him. Not sure if I have much to thank for. Most people think I'm a freak with this. I almost, as we go around in here, I know I'm gonna stand out whatever I do. However I look, I can cover myself up, and I almost always cover myself up. Sometimes I go so far as to tie two of my forearms back behind me in a corset, tucking them back, not making them as visible, and putting a cloak over them so people can only see my top 2 arms. And I suppose even now, I can't stand all the attention. I've got a free pass card, so I'm only wearing a bit of a cloak to cover it up, but I can't be bothered to put it all in a corset this time, even as we're going around now. I never had to do that back then. Never had to hide. Those are some sweet times.
They were. Things changed later, became darker, violent, and, well, perhaps it's best to not think of those things. Not in this beautiful place. We will now move to Carlo. Carlo, your sister was rushed into the hospital, and you are now surrounded by your house soldiers inside a glass lift that is taking you to the top floor of the large Parona Kui Hospital, a grand building from before the Portal Wars. You see the verdant parks and beautiful monuments out there through the glass window. The contrast with the squalor of the conglomerate, the cellar in Coriolis, Bay Basin, and the other areas you visited is not lost on you. This is very much a different world. It's your world, where you grew up. As you stand there in the elevator, how does that make you feel? You haven't been here for a while. The world was different, wasn't it?
It certainly was. I thought it at times a little stifling, a little dull. But it feels good to be in civilization, good to be safe. Well, safe in one way, not necessarily in all ways. I do try not to smirk too much, considering my current state. Here I am, standing among our house soldiers, and among my proud Zedethian brothers and sisters, metaphorically speaking, and I'm currently dressed as if I've just been serving some time in a mine, or in a bar fight on a cantina. But they didn't say I had any time to freshen up, so I suppose this is how I'll have to be.
Yes, it doesn't seem like that was something that was particularly important. Your brother wanted to see you quickly. That seemed to be the priority.
That's true. My hands, though, twitch a little. I know Aisha is here now, and she's getting seen to, but I need to just hear that she's going to be fine. I need to hear Medica say she's fine. And until that happens, I'm just tense, and again, I'm trying not to think of all the things that have just happened. I don't even know. Well, now I think about it, did I see Carol at the event? I know I saw my parents and several of my other family.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember if he was there.
He was. They were all there.
Well, that's good. If he's here and wants to speak to me, then, well, he hasn't been blown up, so that's something at least.
The complex that you finally arrive in is constructed from Sedalian sandstone and Kuan highland marble. There's silk drapes with Cenethian prints and light curtains woven from steppe grass that sway gently in the warm breeze. You are still on Kua. Kua is a warm planet. The faint sounds of the sleepless conglomerate can be heard from far, far below. It's faint, but it's there. The soldiers, they stop outside of a hospital room and they point for you to enter it.
I look out at the view for a moment. It doesn't get old. Sitting up here, high above everyone else. That's where we're supposed to be, at least that's what my father says. But enough of that, I need to see to Aisha. I turn and follow.
Yes. The room that you're shown into, where your brother is supposedly waiting, is sterile, white, and brightly lit. There's a dress uniform that's hanging by the entrance. You recognize it clearly as your brother's. This, too, is actually a hospital room. It's not like an office. There's a bed, a hospital bed. And there he is, Karel Zenoni, commander of the battleship Masifa of the Salakad flotilla. On a table is a cybernetic arm prosthetic.
He's sitting on his bed, turned away from you. His body is heavily bandaged, and there's a constant beeping that's coming from medical equipment in the room.
He's been injured. I didn't expect that. Maybe I should have. It's funny seeing him in a hospital bed. He's a lot taller than me and a lot wider. He was the one who was always winning the races and beating us up in a friendly fashion in the sparring fields. And here he is in a hospital bed. His arm, has he lost his arm?
Yes. And he's noticed that you're here. He moves to stand up, reaching for crutches, and as he turns around, you see that he's missing his arm and that half his face is covered by a cybernetic prosthetic. Very recent work, it seems. As he sees you, you see a tear in his natural eye welling up. Isam, I'm so glad that you're here. He begins moving forward with the crutches.
Me and Carol, well, we got on to a point. Again, he was the most boisterous one. Aram, of course, was always the more regal one. But, well, he is family, and this is hard to see. I mean, of course, he will get the best prosthetics. They might even be able to make it look barely, well, mechanical, but right now I imagine it's just barely been put on, and I move forwards.
He moves up to hug you. He's muscular and, of course, significantly bigger than you are. And he is missing an arm, but he still attempts to kind of give you a hug.
I lean into him. Again, I'm stinking and smelly, but, well, he's maybe not in much better condition either. Maybe, actually, far worse. I wince a little, as, again, I'm pretty sure I bruised my ribs earlier when I was facing the thing. But I don't want to think about what that was right now.
I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad that you're alive. I missed you so much. And as he says that, you have those flashbacks of the time that you grew up together. You mentioned some of your experiences together. What is it that you see when you see yourself and Corel and Aram and Elena and Aisha?
A mixture, I suppose. Stern drills, sparring, all those times we had to wear our lovely dresses and attend all those very long sermons. Granted, we are Zenithian, we do not worship the icons quite as fervently as everybody else does in this horizon, but we still respect them. More importantly, we respect the bloodlines, the family. Especially the main family, of course. We are a branch family. There are several branch families. We are not the main ones, but we attended those meetings too. And yes, arm wrestles, and wrapping my arm around in a bit of a headlock motion when he wanted to get his own way. But, well, I'd always be able to then sneak away, and Aram would tell him off. It was all just jest, though. He was never the smartest, but he was a strong boy, strong man. That's why he did so well at the academy.
Let's go see Mom. Come on. And he begins leading you.
Right. Yes, of course. She's here.
He nods and he's taking you to another room, and there's a woman standing by the door to this room. It's your sister Elena. Can you describe how she looks like? The one that was put on a scientific track. Your older sister.
Well, she's the model of Zenithian elegance, of course. Tall, dark-haired. Again, we're all very similar looking. I guess that's what you get when you have such perfect genes. Tall, long noses, thick dark eyebrows, finely tanned skin. She always liked to dress up, despite being a scientific individual. Though, of course, she always has a data pad in hand, and she does have some viewing spectacles on her nose that assist her with a few technical issues. Normally, at least. How does she look today?
Well, she's not injured in any way, at the very least, not like Corel. Her eyes and cheeks are red from crying, though. You see that much. What is it that Elena would call you? What was her nickname for you?
Mouse. After all, I was always scurrying about and me hiding in closets to surprise everybody. It's kind of annoyed me when I was little, but, well, it's better than being called a rat.
Mouse,
I don't know what to say. She points there. There's a screen in front of the bed in the room here, and you can see a shape behind it, as just like a shadow. There's beeping coming from machines, slow and regular. It might be best if you don't look at her, Elena says. She's alive, but there isn't much left. The heart's beating, but the only thing that's keeping her alive is the machines.
I stumble forwards a little. I need to see. I need to see.
And you see. And it is your mother. How was your mother with you when you grew up? What do you see when you're confronted with what's left of her?
She was stern. She was powerful. But never cruel. Maybe not always kind, but never cruel. She was a proud woman. I'm starting to feel anger again. I was angry for quite a while. I've been angry an awful lot recently at, well, my sister, what had happened to her. I temporarily forgot what with everything that's happened, and now, slowly, I'm remembering it again, and my fist just clenches back and forth a little.
Corel moves closer to the both of you. It's us three now, and Aisha. Icons protect her. May she come through the surgery well. Izam, Dad and Aram, they didn't make it. You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis, which is published by Free League. In this third part of the series, we are taking on the Last Cyclade. The music was created by AlphaZone and Sabled Sun and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We also used the official Coriolis soundtrack by Stars on a Black Sea. We'd like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, and Lily for their generous support. And we'd of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there. And you can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that the song leads us to the truth under a great winged shadow.